Hey guys, it's Akeem. So, does a 0% balance on your credit card make your credit score go up? This is the question. So, keeping a low credit utilization rate is recommended in order to get the best credit score, but is zero too low, right? So the going saying is that you're supposed to keep a 30% credit utilization rate, right? Which means that you only spend up to 30% of what your credit limit is. This is the rule of thumb. So let's get into that. The general rule of thumb, right? The general rule of thumb has been that you don't want your CUR or your credit utilization rate to exceed 30%. But increasingly, they say financial experts are recommending that you don't want to go above 10% if you really want an excellent credit score. So, what does this really mean? What they're saying is, the going rule of thumb is, like I said, if you have $1,000 credit limit, you only want to spend up to $300. You don't want to go over that because then your credit score take a hit. You want to keep it under 30%. But what they're saying is that people with great or excellent credit, they keep their utilization rate under 10%. But what would happen if you had a 0% utilization rate, right? To credit card issuers, it may not look as good as you think, right? So for credit cards, it's very important to use but not abuse those cards, okay? The key is to feel comfortable putting everyday expenses on your credit card with the knowledge you can pay off the bill at the end of the month, which paying your bills on time every month counts for 35% of your overall credit score. What a lot of people don't know is that your credit utilization rate counts for another 30% of your credit score. So these two things are the most important things when it comes to calculating your credit score. It accounts for over 60% of your overall credit score is based on you paying your bills on time every month. And we recommend that if you have it to do so, pay it before, right? Pay it at least 3 days before. And if you have more to put towards it, always put more towards it. We actually have a debt payoff tool that can help you calculate that based on your budget, right? So um now let's take a look at how to calculate your credit utilization rate and why keeping yours at 0% may reflect negatively on your credit score. So how do you calculate your credit utilization rate? Right. So first off, your credit utilization rate, which is also known as your credit utilization ratio or debt to credit ratio, measures how much credit you are using compared to how much you have available. So like I said before, if you had $1,000, that's your limit. That's what you have available. You're only supposed to be using, according to the rule of thumb, 30% of that, which is $300. But you really, really, really want to keep it under 10%. This is what we're dealing with right now, right? So the calculation looks at both your credit card balance, which is what you use, and your credit card limit, which was how much is there, right? So for example, if your current balance is $2,000 and you have a $5,000 limit, that makes your credit utilization rate 40%, which puts you over that 30% threshold where you're supposed to be according to the rule of thumb. So what you would do is you would calculate 2,000 divided by 5,000, which gives you zero point 0.4, right? You multiply that by 100 and gives you 40%. So that's how you calculate it. Remember, it's not the dollar amount owed that's important. It's the percentage. So say if you have a $500 balance on a $10,000 credit limit, right? That's a 50, I mean, excuse me, that's a 5% ratio. But the same $500 balance on that $10,000 card, say you had that $500 balance on a $1,000 limit, that will put you at 50%. So you see how it's about the percentage and not about the amount owed. So how do you lower your credit utilization rate and get a higher credit score, right? It's important to make sure your credit utilization rate is as low as it can be without hitting 0%, right? This will help you get a good credit score, which will in turn help you qualify for the best rewards on your credit cards. Not needless to say, to help you qualify for lower interest rates too, right? So to improve your credit utilization rate, work on paying down your existing balances before doing anything else. If you already have a good credit score, but you're still struggling to pay off your credit card debt, you could consider getting what's called a balance transfer credit card, right? A balance transfer credit card, it offers a temporary interest-free period, so you can just make payments towards your principal balance without worrying about accruing any interest, right? So Once you've paid down at least some of your balance, it may make sense to then ask for a credit limit increase, as long as you're confident you won't overspend with a higher credit limit, right? So once you do this thing, you bring your credit limits down and you get them under that 30% threshold. What you want to do is then ask for a credit limit increase, right? So if you're at, say, like 1,000, ask for 1,500, right? If you're at 1,000, ask for 12, 1,250, right? So the next thing is, how do you maintain a low credit utilization rate, right? So if you already have a low utilization percentage, make sure you continue to never charge more than you can pay off, right? Don't treat credit cards as a long-term loan, because they're not. Just consider them as a short-term loan and a convenient way to pay for things, And lastly, avoid closing any of your credit cards, especially the oldest ones, right? If you can't avoid them, don't close them. If you have to, we have to, close it out, maybe one or two, but please avoid trying to close the oldest one, because the next 15% of your overall credit score is based on your credit history, right? So, the age of your account, is based on the age of your account, how old your accounts are, because people want to see that you've been able to pay these bills and pay on time over a longer period of time. So, continuing, again, closing credit cards often has an immediately negative impact on your utilization percentage, as well as your credit score or your credit limit will go down, right? Low balances and high credit limits are a recipe for low utilization. So you always want to keep your balances low, again, under 10%. And, the higher your credit limit, the better. And the lower your spending, the better. So our company, we provide a tool, right? We have a tool that's called a credit builder tool, right? And what happens is, we offer this service as a means to help you improve your financial life, improve your score by identifying accounts that need immediate attention and why, and understanding the impact of the amount of credit you are using, right? We have certain credit management techniques that we have as well, right? These are details on how your financial actions can impact your credit score and how to enhance your current credit score. We also have education and a resource center, which includes a wide variety of educational services, credit tips, and budgeting tools to establish and maintain your good credit, right? You get this along with 12 additional services, including credit restoration, for less than $3 a day, guys. I'm just so excited about our company, right? So if you enjoyed this, make sure that you follow me on these different social media platforms. On Facebook, you can find me at Akeem Bey Financial and at Akeem Bey. On Instagram, it's Akeem the More. You can email me at akeembeyfinancial@gmail.com. My telephone number is 203-675-8187, and my website is www.ucespp.net/ABEY2. Thanks, guys. Take care.